I've spent some time thinking about the different ways to engage a community. How do you get local communities to try something new? An arts event or project that can bring people together and maybe see their community and the place they live from a different perspective. So I spoke to some interesting people about what they thought and have come up with an idea: the art of engagement. One of the highlights of my research was a trip to Chicago. What inspired me about the arts and community organisations I met there was the lack of differentiation between professional and community arts. Artistic activity was expressed as part of an artistic vision. What this means is the artistic experience doesn't get diluted for the community, the artist, and the organisation. I want to look at community engagement as an artistic process that inspires the artist as well as the community, a mutual exchange, appreciation, and dialogue. Active communities are cost-effective and local people know what they need. Getting people involved and engaged creates safer, more rich local communities. Arnold April, the director of Chicago Arts Partnerships in Education, puts it, "Reclaim arts as a potential force for activating participation democracy." So let's look at the art of engagement. Communities are like coral reefs. They have complex infrastructures that act as barriers to predators. Communities might perceive an arts organisation that wants to deliver one-off arts projects or events as a predator, just wanting to take the best bits and not contribute to the ecosystem and the community as a whole. It's often described as parachuting in. Some may see these barriers that communities build up as a negative attitude, but I think it's more of a protective mechanism. Community conservation. I suggest there are 4 important ways to engage a community. Number 1. Relationships. The arts organisation needs to build relationships within the community. Those relationships need to be built with the organisation as a whole, not simply the participation team or person. Engagement is everyone's job. Of course, this takes time, and the process of building those relationships with the community needs to be valued. It needs to inform the creative process. To build relationships, you need time and consistency, so you can build trust. Number 2. Starting where people are at. Liz Richardson, the author of DIY Action for Communities, puts it, "Anyone doing engagement should start where people are at and relate to the residents' priorities, not those of the organisation." It's important to think about what the individual community will respond to. Try different forms of engagement, going where people are, shopping centres, parks, etc., out into the community, micro-events. Number 3. Partnerships. These are based on mutual benefit. The size and importance of the organisation should not affect the mutual learning. It's about sharing knowledge and recognising skills. Number 4. Dialogue. A mutual understanding without judgment. It's also a creative dialogue. Arnold April talks about the artists becoming curious about their practice and communities rediscovering their creativity. With all this in mind, I was tasked with setting up an Arts Ambassadors scheme for the Lift Moulton Festival 2009 to invest their time to support the marketing process of the event. I thought this was a very dull idea. Why was art just the job of artists? And why would local people want to market a festival they knew nothing about and arts events they had no interest in going to see? So I set up the Arts Activists. The Arts Activists were a group of 5 Barking and Dagenham residents who were interested in the arts. We met once a week, and together we worked on an idea to see if we could encourage local people to get more involved in the arts. I got the group together by lots of legwork, meeting people, visiting different organisations, lots of chat and conversations. The process was long and hard and took about 3 months. I finally had a group of diverse ages and cultures. Lisa, 16, from Nigeria, via Chicago and now living in Barking. David, in his 80s, lived in Dagenham for 40 years or more, an entertainer who frequently bursts into song, loves dancing and performing. Mavis, 70, a chatty lady full of ideas and a whiz on Facebook. Bradley, a local lad, 22, who had been a participant at Studio 3 Arts, a local arts charity, since he was 13 and now worked there. And Kevin, an ex-Dagenham Ford worker, poet and musician, and avid local historian. The arts activists were about celebrating individual skills and talents and having their own creative process. They devised their own micro events and performances so that they could take them out into the community. I worked with Janetka, a fantastic visual artist, and we offered ideas and artistic triggers to the group, and they shared their poetry, favourite music, skills and memories. During one of our sessions, when we were sharing ideas, Mavis thought life-size cardboard cutouts would be a great idea. So we did. The festival brochure read, "The arts activists will be taking their performance art into public spaces and asking local people, is this art or just a cardboard cutout?" The cardboard cutouts were a great success. We recorded the arts activists' voices on small recording pads, which passers-by had to push their ears up to hear. It was so easy to chat to people. The cutouts caught people's imaginations. The arts activists were locals and reflected the people we were engaging. Why did it work? Well, it was a smart way to engage. It was creative, humorous, and triggered discussion and genuine interaction. The art of engagement is about creating natural communication, enthusiasm, momentum, and energy. The arts activists work because people aspire to be artists. They don't aspire to be arts marketers. There's lots of different creative skills that people do not get a chance to express. Art is accessible and intergenerational. The art of engagement is slow and steady, consistent, and it takes time and perseverance, and it's about exciting artistic ideas that trigger the community to become involved. Here's a chicken, and here's an egg. With the art of engagement, we're not sure which came first, the community or the idea. It's an organic process. It's symbiotic, empowering a creative dialogue. It naturally will involve an element of risk. Communities and people are unpredictable. You have to grasp the nettle. The art of engagement recognises that anyone who volunteers their time is an invaluable asset. Volunteers should have opportunities for development and celebration. The art of engagement places the community at the centre of the project's artistic vision.